everyone, it's me Laura from the Papered Soul. I just thought I would put the camera on go and kind of record a little tutorial for you while I was working on some elements for my next journal. I'm using paper from EllsieBeLs BookShelf. It is a design, digital design that she has for journals, and it is a journal kit, and it is called Butterfly Grotto. So I'm using one of the pages there, and I have a different page here that I've kind of cut down for that. So that's what I'm working with, but I really just thought I would do like a little video called, and kind of calling it Staying Inspired, and I just thought it would be fun to just put the camera on go and just kind of do what I do. And I just thought this was a cute little idea for actually utilizing the pages of digital kits. You don't just have to use them only for a journal page, which of course they're wonderful as, and that's what we do. But obviously we know we can do different things with them and creating elements for our journals. So like I said, this is a Butterfly Grotto page from EllsieBeLs BookShelf. I'll put her link down below in case you want to check this wonderful kit out. I'm really only having just two little small elements of hers that I'm showing because that's all I really need for this tutorial. So what I did is I went on and I was messing around and I made this, which is going to be a short page in my journal. And I kind of used one of her pages differently, and I'm going to show you how I did it. I wrapped it around and I basically made a pocket on the edge of one of the sides of the page, and then I made a tag, a long tag, and I backed it with graph paper, and it goes in here at the end. What I did is I did a little sewing down the side and at the bottom just to kind of turn it into the pocket. So I just thought I would show you guys how I did that. So what I was going to do, and then of course I did my fun little punching on the side, which I love to do. So that's really turned out really pretty. So I thought I would just have fun doing another one and then showing you guys on a tutorial. So I printed her page out, and I cut the border off. I did that, and then I cut a piece of coffee dye paper that's the same size, okay, because I wanted the same height and everything like that. So what I did in this particular design, I just kind of figured what part do I want showing on one side. So I was able to split the design like I did on this one. So I just folded it over until I felt like I wanted to make sure I got that butterfly in, and you can kind of see through the light, how far over you have. So on one side it'll be like that, and then on the other side it'll be more simple, and I can keep it simple like that, or I can add some other little embellishments to it if I want to. So what I'm going to do, since I've already folded that over, I'm going to just cut it. This is how I just kind of play around with stuff. I just kind of start picking out of a, off of a journal page, or a little digital kit page, and I start, breaking the elements up. And I'm going to do something else with this too. So the majority of this piece of paper is going to get used. So nothing will go to waste. So I'm going to do something with that in a little bit. So now that I have this, I'm going to unfold it. And I've got my distress ink, and I'm just going to go ahead and do my distressing. And I kind of have Evergreen Bough. I have to say that's one of my favorite color inks that I use. I tend to love these colors. The teals and everything like that oftentimes. So I'm just kind of drawn to that. But it works perfect with this particular digital page of Ellie's. Such a pretty kit. If you haven't had a chance to look at it and check it out, she's got a lot of digital kits out now, and she's really been working hard. And she's at EllsieBeLs BookShelf on Etsy. Like I said, I'll put her link down below in the description for you so you can go and check all of her things out. She also offers not only the digital download, but if you don't really want to worry about printing it out yourself and having a lot of ink and dealing with computers and printers, then you could actually do she has a print and ship option. So she can print it out for you and ship it to you. Okay, so I've got that inked. Got my trusty glue. I use Fabri-Tac like crazy. Just really my favorite glue, and it tends to be it's very expensive to me. You can probably use your coupons and stuff, but it tends to be pretty expensive, and I really need to find me another glue that I like equally as well for basic stuff like this, because I know I use this for, you know, my textiles and fabrics and stuff, but I've just gotten to where I just use it for everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this on the edge of this page. So just kind of get it. It's a pretty day here. I'm in Greensboro, Summerfield, North Carolina, that area, and it's really pretty. We've had pretty weather lately. It's been low humidity, which I have just absolutely loved. I actually can enjoy being outside when it's low humidity. And I know summer's officially coming and all that, so I'll probably lose that wonderful low humidity and it'll get cranked up to high, ridiculous humidity. Anyway, so I'm gonna just line this up. To the edge here and make sure it's, and if I have to do any little bit of trimming of the paper, I think I got it too far off. Let me try this again. You can always do a little trimming, any little excess paper that sticks out, and you can ink it too. See, I think I got a little excess down there, so I'll trim that. I still don't think I have this even. I don't. Hold on. I'm going to wear my glue out. Let me add a little more glue. I've dried it out by pulling it on and off. It's so funny because I usually don't have that much trouble. But of course, when you get on camera, that's when you're going to have a lot of issues. I don't know why I can't. I think I'm sitting low in my seat and I'm not over it enough where I can line it up. But anyway, let's see. Okay, I think we'll just go with that. All right, so let's make sure it's down really well. The funny thing though, when you're doing a tutorial or anything like that, I mean, this is really how things are. You know, you just struggle. I mean, you just not struggle. That sounds terrible. There's no struggling in crafting, but you know, you just kind of do the best you can, and if things don't work out, you just work on it until it's the way you want it. So that's not perfect, but anyway, I'll trim it down. So I just want to make sure that's really adhered well, like that. So I already did the fold in that piece of paper before I glued it down. So what I'm going to do is find my little fold, and then I'm going to fold it. Now, the purpose of me doing this like this is I like to have, if I'm going to do a pocket, I like it to be thick. I don't want it to be just that piece of paper. So that's why I backed it onto this. But plus, then I thought, well, then I can just extend it out and use it as a journal page. So this will be my middle, and then there'll be an extra journal page. So I just find my, so it's like kind of a dual purpose there. So I find my little fold, and then I crease that. And so then all I will do, let me see if I can either take my scissors and kind of trim this up a little bit. I think I will. I have my little trimmer off to the side, and I may be able to just do it with my scissors. And then this one, I think I'm gonna do with my trimmer. So let me pull that in to the camera. I'm not intending for this video to be, you know, perfect or whatever. I just thought I would have fun, and you can just watch my crazy little process and the little things I do to get things the way I want them. This is what we do. So just a teeny little smidge off of that's all I need. So just gonna do that. Here we go. So I love this trimmer. This is the best cutter I've ever had, and so if you ever have an opportunity to get one, it's a Fiskars, and it has supposedly a renewing every time you use it. It's like it keeps the blade sharpened automatically, and so it's just been the best thing I have ever invested in craft-wise, I must say. Okay, so now if you look at my other one that I had, all I would need to do, I'm gonna retrim a little more of that, but I'm gonna re-ink that as well. And then all I would need to do is take now you can glue this if you want to, and you don't want to sew it. You can just take a bead of glue and, you know, put it down here and fold it over, and then you've got your pocket automatically on your page. Okay, so there's the back. If you do like me, then I like to sew it. So I just did a little zigzag there, and then a little zigzag here, and sewed it into place so that it's part of your page. Okay, so let me just trim this just a little bit more. I won't be sewing this one, but I just was showing you how you could do this. So I'm not gonna sew this on camera because my sewing machine's in another room, but you get the message or the idea. So let me just ink it again, and a lot of times I do double inking. I tell you what's really relaxing is if you're watching a video like this and you have little things and projects you need to work on yourself, you can sit and, like if you have inking to do and you find that to be boring, you could actually just sit and ink while you're watching videos. It's actually relaxing. Don't have to think too much about it, and then you're being entertained by somebody else. Okay. So you see what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sew mine, but you can glue it, and then you've got your pocket. Now what I did, and it doesn't have to be exact, I went on ahead and I love to do my little punching to give a decorative edge to a lot of my pages. I think it's very interesting when you're flipping your pages. So this is, I don't know the name of this, but it's one of my favorite ones. So I'm gonna go in and make a mess and do that. You can shorten your page even more if you want to. I think I did shorten this one a little bit, but it's gonna be neat because when I'm flipping through my journal, this is gonna be a smaller page, so that's gonna add interest. I like it, it'll add interest because then behind, you see, there might be whatever else I put in, the papers I put in, it adds interest behind these little shorter pages, so I like to do that a lot. So let me just go ahead and do my trimming, or my little punching, I should say. Makes a mess, but it's a fun mess. There we go. And then I have like a little, so then I have my pretty little edge. Let me just clear the deck here a little bit. Get that off to the side. Okay, so now what I did before is I just took it and folded it to get it ready for my journal and put the crease down the middle for this page. Then I just went on and folded it over and And now I'll have it. So like I say, I'm going to sew mine, but you can glue it. Now I'm going to come out with a tag for this from the same paper, okay? So I already had an idea of what I wanted to do with this piece, and I'm going to bring that out, so I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. And then whatever I have left over, I'm going to make a tag, a long tag to fit in here. So what I did, this has been a long time ago that I've done this. I think it was in my Hello Darling journal, and where I had folded, you know, a piece of paper up. And actually, you know, my inspiration, this, like I say, this is a long time ago, and I had a lot of inspiration from a lot of different people. But I know Paula Lemon, I believe, was who inspired me for this folded page. And so, you know, this was just something I did with it. But what'll end up happening is in a journal page, on a journal page, we'll be able to place this, and I'm going to show you how it unfolds. And then when it unfolds, you have a whole piece of paper to journal on. So basically, like I say, I just took a piece of regular coffee dye paper, copy paper. I edge punched all around the whole piece, but what I did then was folded it into thirds, okay? And you're not wasting any of this piece of paper. And then I got the height of what my journal pages are going to be, which is this. And so I kind of, after I did my edge punching and everything, I kind of lined it up with my page, and then folded this over like that, so it's not going to be sticking out of my journal. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a piece of, a strip of this, and I think I'm going to use these butterflies over. I'm still trying to figure out the little details of it, but I want to go in and get it cut so I can make my tag with the rest of this piece of paper. So I kind of lined it up or marked it, and I'm not sure how, I'm not going to go overly high, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a tag, a long tag, to decorate this piece, but I'm going to tuck this piece of paper underneath my tag, and I'll have a pretty ribbon and everything like that. So that's what I'm going to do. And like I say, also, when you're putting it in your book, you can glue it down different ways. You can glue it this way, this way, this way, and have it and still have like a pocket. Like you could have a pocket underneath, or you could just do glue up under here and use it as a belly band. Different things you can do with it when you're putting it into your journal. But anyway, so let me cut this, and I believe I had a little mark there with my pencil, so I'm going to cut it. Let's see where I had it. Right there. So let me cut it. I'm gonna get my little cutter back out. Oops. Had it the wrong way. All right, and then you find my little line. I think it was right there. And it's gonna nip off a little bit of my butterfly wings, but that's all right. That's what makes this unique. It's like dissecting your papers. And then I will use this to make a tag to fit into my little pocket that I made. So while I'm working on this, let me just go ahead. All right, let's figure this out. Okay, so if I'm gonna make a tag, I can do this a couple of different ways. I wanna make it long enough, it's going to be decorating this, but I don't want it, see, it's just too long for the fold, so I've gotta figure out, I've actually thought there's like a pretty little butterfly down here on a leaf, so I've actually thought about cutting that off and making a little tag out of that. And then I could actually bring this down a little bit if I do that. So let me just see. This is what I do when I'm doing things. I play with stuff. So if I want that butterfly to be in there, that might be perfect right there. So I want my butterfly in its own little separate tag. So let's just cut him off. I need to just keep this in. So I'm just cutting this off enough to make sure my little butterfly is included, because that's gonna make a cute little small tag. So see how the more you start messing with it, you start getting ideas, and that would be a cute little tag to tuck in somewhere in my journal. So I'll do that. And then now I've got a shorter piece. Isn't that pretty? So I don't have to bring it all the way down if I don't want to. And you know, it might need a slight bit of trimming off to the side, just a smidge. I'm gonna do it off the other side because I don't want to take any more off my butterfly wing. So I'm just gonna take a little bit off the other side, and that will allow some of my paper to show through and my little trim edge that I have here. So if I kind of do it like that, okay, and then I can have, or you know, I could still think this through. I could do it up to the edge, and even though that's not showing through, see, I just mess with stuff because that way it's even on each side here. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Okay, so now that once you figure out how you're going to do it, and also I didn't want it so high up here, I wanted this to be able to pop out, okay? So that's going to tuck back under there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink this. Do my little inking. I can't believe we're in the middle of June here. You know, it's been probably about 3 weeks since my last video that I released, and that is terrible. I don't want it to be that long, and I don't plan for it to be that long in between times, but you know, sometimes life just kind of, other things pop up and take center stage, and you have to kind of put those little fires out, and then you can get back to your crafting. So it's just, you know, that's just what happens. That's just how it is. And if that doesn't happen for you, please tell me how you prevent that, because I don't like being away from my crafting so long. I do have a piece of paper here. It's actually just a file folder. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but back in the day, file folders were thick. This is not that thick, but it's going to be perfect for a tag backing, just to sturdy that up. You know, these used to be thick, your index cards used to be thick, and now they're just like papers. It's like paper stock, but they're a little bit thicker than paper, but not much. That was kind of been surprising to me. So then I'm just gonna put my glue on the back. There's so many videos out there and creative things that everybody's out there making. I haven't even had the time to watch all that I want to watch of what you're doing, and I've got to get caught up. So I hope I can do that soon. I try to do little ones here and there and everything like that. And sometimes what I'll do with my glue, and I know it gets it all over your hands, is I try to smooth it out after I've just kind of give it, so it doesn't have like little bumps of glue. Alright, so I'm just going to use an old cut up. Let me see if there's anything on the back. Yeah, that's good. Make sure it looks, I was going to say make sure it looks nice, but to be quite honest with you, this is going to be adhered down, so you're not going to see the back of this tag. If you wanted it, you were going to use a tag like this, you could do some stenciling on the back of it with maybe that pretty color that I was using, evergreen bough, or whatever color matches your design and your paper. And And then you can have a beautiful, that would make a beautiful tag. So I'm just gonna cut it. Probably what, I was gonna say, I like to sew everything, but I don't know if I'll sew this one. It would look cute, but I don't think I'm gonna sew this one because I wanna adhere it down and show you. Now, you have the option of making it look like a tag if I want to, so we can cut those little corners off. And I do, make it wider. We do that. You don't have to do this, it's just a thing I'm doing. And then you take it and flip it over completely to the other side. This is to give you a even look to it. I would say you could, if you can eyeball it, great. I'm not a good eyeballer. I think I got it and then I don't. So, okay, so now I'm gonna ink it a little bit more now that I have glued it on. And also done a little more cutting off, so I'll just kind of ink a little more. I think I've done pretty good here. Okay. And I didn't get the right color. That actually would be pretty though for a little contrast. So what I think I'm gonna do is punch a hole in it, do it just like a tag. Got my little, and I do eyeball this part though. I just kind of look at it and make sure I got it. Punch a hole. And here's some of my ribbon that I have. I've got all kinds of different colors of crinkle ribbon that I crinkle up in my shop. So I've added some new trims and stuff too. And I just fold it over and kind of half it and then punch it through this, put it through this little hole. Get it. And then that one's a little more crinkled up than the other side. And I just pull it. There we go. All right, so what I would be doing then, I just love that tag as a tag. That would be so pretty. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, yeah, I am gonna put it off to the side just a little bit because I like you being able to see my little trim that I did there. And I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. There we go. That's pretty good, isn't it? All right, so now what I'm gonna do is kind of get it in my mind's eye where I'm gonna glue it. I'm gonna glue it under this little flap here, a little bit under. So probably about where that little butterfly wing is. I'm gonna do a bead of glue there. And I'm gonna do a bead of glue down here at the bottom. Then I could tuck some stuff under here. If I wanted to tuck some more tags under here, I could have them sticking out and put some ribbons out here, you know, have ribbons on them and tuck some things under there. So it'll serve as a double kind of thing. So I said about the butterfly wing, so I put my thumb there and then I flip it to the back. And you see how I just kind of eyeball things. And then I was gonna put a little at the bottom just to secure it. Okay, so then I make sure that my butterfly, this little flap is lined up and my little wing is down below that flap. That's where my glue line is. And then I just press it. And if I find that it needs a little more glue, I can always go back in and add a little bit more. I can flip this up and add a little more. Let me tilt that just a bit. Okay. And you can, like, I had folded it, but you can crease it a little bit more. And over time, I think, as it gets flattened, also it'll stay. It'll get flatter, as it gets flattened in the book and everything, and it'll lay a little flatter. But Let's make sure this dries. I may need a little more glue on it, but it might be all right. I do know that when summer comes like it has and school's gotten out and everybody's going to the beach, I guess there's a lot of people that don't have as much time indoors crafting, but I have to really be doing something a lot all year long. I kind of start to wilt if I don't get to craft. If I don't get to do something in creative, I just kind of feel like I'm not enjoying life. Okay, so now I could actually, you know, I could stamp some stuff up here, which I've thought about doing. I could do fly, fly away. That would be cute, and just hand stamp that or whatever. I'm gonna do another video that's not really a tutorial, but just more of showing you some of the elements that I've made for this next journal for EllsieBeLs BookShelf. And you'll get to see, you know, the finished product of any other embellishing that I do, but I just wanted to show you that. And like I say, this would go, you know, could go into on any kind of page in your journal and serve as a pocket, serve as a belly band in and of itself. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that. But I will say that when you're on that page, you can flip this out, and then you can unfold it, and you can write all over it and journal all over that page. You can journal there. You can journal, you know, do a little here if you want to. Under there, it would be hidden. If you wanted to just paper clip this in, you could journal on the back of it as well. So it's really, you can do anything you want to, obviously, with this element. And there you have it. So there's another little fun thing for that. The other thing I wanted to do, we've got to make our little tag like we did here. So I'm gonna make me a little thin tag for this one here. So still got this piece of paper I'm working with, and I know I'm gonna want that butterfly in there. So let's just see. You gotta give yourself, you gotta cut it a little bit shorter. I'm gonna have to take some of the length off, but I wanna at least get my width. So I didn't bring me a pencil in here, so I guess what I could do, y'all are gonna laugh at me, I improvise. I do a lot of stuff like this. I fold if I don't have something I need or whatever, or I'll just, you know, improvise about and get me a line here of about where I need to cut this. And obviously that would still be too, I need to make it a little shorter than that line. So what I'm gonna do is pop it in my cutter, and I'm gonna come in just a little bit and line it up. And that should do the trick. Let's see if it'll do the trick. And I gotta make sure I have enough space for sewing. So I have a little bit, I think I'm gonna take a little bit more off. And I don't wanna cut into my butterfly, so I'm just gonna take a little more off of this tag. Let's see, just a little. I think they say measure. Always take off less than you think you're gonna have and because you can't ever put it back on, okay? And so I do think that will fit. I have a little extra space there. I got a little extra space. So what I'm gonna do now is ink him. I've been wanting to do like little tutorials for a long time. And I'm gonna try some more. I hope, you know, if there's anything y'all wanna see, it might challenge me, you know. I just thought I'd do playing around more than anything and just do like little staying inspired videos. Things that you start, ideas you come up with as you're kind of just playing around with your crafts. All right, so now what I want to do, like I did that other one, is I just took some graph paper and I'm gonna glue him. So you can decide which one you want. If I do him here on this busy part, I think my other one had the lines so you could actually journal on those lines. You can journal on these lines too. I'll tell you what I might do. On this one, I might actually just do it on the back of that, and then it'll be a little bit busier, but it'll be fun and interesting. So I'm just gonna get my glue on. Probably will sew around this particular tag. I like to sew around just about all of my tags. It's very rare for me not to have some sort of sewing, but that's just like the way I like to do it. You can do, you can hand draw stitch marks. It'll look like stitching if you want to. And I just like to smooth these glue globs down. Make it lay a little bit flatter. So if I do it like that, I'm just gonna put it to the edge. Let me get this out of the way so I don't get any glue on it. Whoops. To the edge. There we go. And probably, like I said, I probably should have cut it lengthwise before I did this, but I can always do that after I get it on. Oops, you know what? I think I did it upside down. I did. Silly me. I think I can peel it off. Peel it off. I did it upside down because on the other side it has numbers, and that would give me away. So let me redo this. You have to think about this kind of stuff. You don't have to if you can. It can be kind of fun and whimsical for it to be upside down. That's the thing I love about all this, is it doesn't have to be perfect. The thing I love about this crafting and journal making is it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be as perfect or as imperfect as you want it to be. And cut this. There we go. And like I said, I will actually sew around that. So that will be my tag. So see, you have lines on the back of that. And this is the same length. So I think what I'm going to do is take some of the little bit off here at the, I hate to take that off because that's so pretty. I might take some off the top just so that it will be just a small bit shorter than the pocket. And because I did that, I will do my inking. Get that framed in again. Okay, so it's like just a little bit shy, so it'll fit all the way in if you want it to fit all the way in, okay? So there's my little tag, and that will fit there. So once I sew that in, it'll be just like this other one. All right, so then, like I said, I'm going to do, I guess I could glue it on just anything, whatever I decide to do. Graph paper, coffee dye paper, can do my ledger paper or cardstock or whatever, and I'll have me another little tag out there for my journal. So really all I had is this little piece, simply because I had to make this fit this pocket. Otherwise, I would have made the tag, if I was just going to make a tag out of this, I would have kept the entire thing like that and not wasted anything. I actually can use this if I wanted to. You know that flyaway I was telling you about? I could use some of this background paper and stamp something here, flyaway or something like that. So I may do that. I may try to make sure I use this and not have any waste. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this little tutorial. Like I say, it was not so much a tutorial as it was just me messing around and doing a little crafting and trying to share it with you. So If it did do any inspiring for you, I hope it did, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks so much. Bye.